Hello everyone, right, it's time for another Stampin' Up Extravaganza. This year I chose to use the poinsettia place. I've used the actual stamp set which is on page 16 in the dies, so that was included in the Extravaganza goodie bag. Okay, so the suite uses sort of reds and greens, which is quite traditional, but I've gone for a different look. I've used blues and the garden green. Okay, right, so there's 3 projects, so enough to keep you going all day, so do pace yourself. So the first project is these 3 items. Okay, so if I just move the other ones out of the way. So the first one in this project is a big A4 card, and it's a gatefold card. Okay, so a nice big one. Your envelope was included as well. So these 3 projects use the actual dies and a few of the stamps, so not much stamping on the first project. Okay, so all your pieces were cut out for you. So that's the first one, and then this smaller card, it is a normal card. It does fold flat to go in your envelope. You can see it does fit into your envelope, all right, but it does stand up like a 3D card. Okay, so that's another one. And then I did a little gift bag using these lovely decorated clear bags. All right, so the flap does open, and so you can put your gift in there, and just untie the bow. All right, so I'll show you how to make that. So that's the first project. All right, and so like I said, the colours are Misty Moonlight, which is a new in colour, Balmy Blue, and white, and the green is garden green. Okay, so that's the first one. The second project is this large Christmas sampler. All right, so it is well, it's a 14 by 14 inch frame. I know we normally use the IKEA frames, but this is the largest one they do, and you can see it is slightly squashed, all the little layers that I wanted to use, so I did go for the bigger size frame, and this does have glass in it instead of the perspex. So you could take the glass out and have it as an open frame if you want to. I did get it from Hobbycraft, so this is the one it looks like, and they're about £8. Okay, and they're white, and they're 3D like that. Okay, so that's the frame that you had in your pack. Excuse me. So this is a Christmas sampler, so I've used quite a lot of other dies, so I'll show you those in the actual video for this project. This video is just to show you all the projects that I've made and that you're going to produce. All right, so I didn't put any lights in this one because it's quite a big frame, and they didn't quite reach the ones that I normally use, and to be honest, there really wasn't much left over in the budget to pay out for 2 lots of lights. All right, so if you've got some in your craft room, you could add lights like we normally do, but this one doesn't have lights. Okay, all the layers are all popped up, so again I'll show you in that video in a bit more detail. So that's project number 2. And then project number 3 is a little card and a gift bag using the new mini cups. So you've got the little holder, which I've decorated, and then you've got 2 cups to fill with treats you want to give. Okay, and they're decorated. The lids just pop off like that. Okay, and then they just sit in the decorated gift holder for the cup holder, and it's got a little tag. I did put a white tag on the back so that you could write, and it's got one of the lovely silver little stars on it. Alright, so there's two cups, and the other project to go with that is this little card. So I did the blue poinsettias for a different look, and it's got some of the lovely velvet paper, all used with the same 3 colours. So all 3 projects match if you were mixing and matching them for a gift idea, or you could swap out the colours for, you know, if you want to reproduce them. Okay, so that's project 3. So I'll just quickly go over and show you what products I actually used. So like I said, I used the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. Now it does come with a bundle if you want to get 10% off, and the dies is quite a large pack of dies, so it is good value. So the images on the actual stamp set are a lot smaller than the actual sheet, but you get 2 sheets in there. Okay, I've mounted mine, so they're not in the actual pack, but all the sentiments are really useful. They're all usable for Christmas and stuff, and so the dies, there's quite a lot in there. So on this one I separated out the big poinsettia dies. So like I said, I've mounted mine on blocks because I'm going to be using them in a minute, and but so you get an outline one that actually does match the stamped images, and then you get 2 another one which does the embossing. So when you run them through together, then you'll get the 3D embossed little poinsettia pieces instead of stamps, so you can see it's already got all embossing on it. Alright, so I did just mark on the back to line it up easily if you were just running them through quickly. I did do a lot, obviously, so what I did, I took some washi tape, and then I just taped them together so they sort of stayed together while I was running them through the Stampin' Cut embossing machine. So that's up to you. So washi tape comes off really easily, so I just lined them up and then ran them through as a one piece, and I did that the same with the holly. The hollies are the same, so you get the outline to cut out the actual stamped images, or if you run both pieces together, then you'll get the embossed holly, which I did in the silver foil on this one. Okay, and then this image here cuts out that poinsettia, so it's not these 3 make up 3D ones. This one's a more flatter one, and also there's some on the paper that's in the suite that die does cut out as well. These little ones are already embossed, so they cut out the small ones, so there's not a stamped image for those. This one here is the berries, so on the berries here I've cut it out on the balmy blue glitter cardstock, so that's that one, and then this one cuts out that image on the actual stamp set. Alright, so that one matches that one, and these berries, so stamp that first and then you can stamp the berry actual colour on top. This die here cuts out that one, and I think that's about it really. Well, that one does cut out those, and also that one cuts out holes, that one cuts out a shape with the little dents of the circles embossed in it. So they're quite nice for the centres of the poinsettias. Alright, so that's the actual bundle that I used in the projects. And then all the other things I used was mostly on the Christmas sampler, like this one here. I used the big tag, and this one here I used for the centre. This is the snow globe dies, so that one to cut out. I used that deer and the little polar bears and the church, and this bit to go underneath the snow globe. And then also on this Christmas sampler I used the So Many Snowflake dies. And then on project 1 I used the celebration label dies to make the gift bag and the centre piece for the big card. I did warn you, there's quite a few dies I used. Home Together I used the little wavy line with the trees and the house and the star. This one I used the stitch circle for the cup holder. And then the 2 embossing folders I used the Evergreen Forest, the 3D one, and the Winter Snow. So they're mostly the dies. For the little embellishments I used the basic pearls. I used the garden green diagonal striped ribbon for the tie on the card. No, I used it on the cup holder. And then the little stars I used on the cup holder. They're really lovely. They come already with a little loop, so I just used that to wrap around the ribbon, so it's hanging on there. And then I used these lovely beaded pearls for a few of the centres of the poinsettias, so I did use quite a few of those, which are really lovely. They're quite heavy as well. They're really lovely. And then so the cardstock that I used is Misty Moonlight, Garden Green, Balmy Blue, and Whisper White. And then I used the Balmy Blue glitter cardstock. It's absolutely gorgeous. Went through quite a few packs of that. And then I used a Speciality Plush. Some of the cards had the holly layers on and some had the swirls. So there's 3 designs. You get 3 sheets of each one. Alright, so some cards had that on and some cards had the holly. So it's really pretty, isn't it? So that's nice. Sort of velvety flocked vellum, but it's quite thick as well. And then the papers I used are the snowflake ones. I don't have many left, but mostly the image was this sheet here. So some of the layers had, you know, a bit more darker blues on, but they all look similar. Okay, and some of them, well, I think I've got a couple more sheets in this pack. Some of them had smaller, and then it's got Highland Heather on, so you know, your piece that you've got in your pack might have a little bit of Highland Heather in to mix all with the blues. Okay, so that's the snowflake paper. I've got a tickle. And then so the bits and pieces that you're going to need to do the extravaganza, you're going to need the Misty Moonlight ink pad, the Balmy Blue ink pad, and the Garden Green ink pad. Okay, if for any reason you haven't got a Garden Green, you could use Versamark. But the other 2 colours I have stamped directly on lighter and darker cardstock, so you do need those. You need a pair of scissors, and you need some double-sided tape, 3D dimensionals, and some mini glue dots. Okay, So that's all you really need. Everything else is cut and prepped for you. There's on the cup project where the poinsettias is stamped on cardstock, and also in the Christmas sampler the poinsettias are stamped on cardstock. If you've got the dies, you can use the dies to cut your images out, but if you haven't got the dies, they're very simple shapes, so just run your scissors round with leaving a little border around each one and you'll be fine. Okay, but if you can buy the dies, if you can afford them, you know, they really are lovely ones. Okay, all right then, so I'll be back with the other 3 videos to show you how to put the packs together. Okay then, thanks a lot, bye.